According to OpenAI usage adoption report that was recently released in September 2025, workers using ChatGPT for job-related tasks report 20 to 40% times savings in their administrative and creative work. Yet only a fraction of those workers actually use AI assistants that are tailored to their workflow. And that is where the real productivity lift happens. So teams that are using custom GPTs in their workflow rather than using ad hoc prompting have seen a ×2 higher efficiency gain, even though I've seen more based on other reports. And personally, I think mine is more than ×2. Permit me to say that if you are still copying and pasting prompts, you are an old school right now using AI. It's okay to know how to prompt very well, but if that is where your usage is, you need to step up. And hopefully at the end of today's session, you have ideas of how to begin to move your prompts and translate them into AI assistants that you can use repeatedly for your work. So our agenda today, and we're going to quickly explore the problem with prompts. And don't get me wrong, prompts are not bad. You still need to understand how to build prompts, to build good AI assistants. So if you have good prompt engineering skills, they are very valuable and they are still going to remain valuable. But I will look at what are the shortcomings of just prompting ad hoc. We'll explore the opportunities of using AI assistants. I would also share some results that I've seen in my community and my personal usage of AI assistants and other use cases that you can then begin to explore for your work if you're a professional or if you're an entrepreneur. Some use cases you can begin to play around. I would also do a quick live demo of how you can build this. I will definitely start with ChatGPT and show you how to build a custom GPT. If we have more time, we could explore the Google Gems, but I will definitely look at custom GPTs today. I'll take your questions and please keep them coming. You can drop them in the chat as we go along right now. I would stop intermittently and take those questions. And then I would also invite you to join a paid masterclass I'll be holding next week. Guys, no pressures at all, but I believe there'll be a lot of value for anyone that wants to master how to build these custom GPTs at scale and probably even monetize that skill. I will be sharing that in the masterclass. Keep your eyes open for that part of the webinar. Yeah, let's jump into today's work. So what exactly are AI assistants? What are they really? Think of it as a trained specialist. It could even be an intern. If you are a solopreneur, think of it as your virtual assistant, someone you've employed in your business. If you are a senior BA, project manager, think of it as that junior BA, someone that you are coaching to support you to do the work that you do even better. A new team member, a digital team member. So think of it as an assistant, like having an expert employee that has been trained to handle a specific task, and it does it so very well. And really, no coding is required. I'm going to show you that right now. You don't need to write a single line of code to build a reusable AI assistant. And AI assistants are infinitely scalable. You can create them once, reuse them over and over again. I currently do this. You can share them with people. I've built some that have shared with my virtual assistant, with my community members, my mentee in the program that has saved me a lot of hours and weeks, and it will continue. Hours and weekly savings will continue to compound. And of course, you can sell this. People use it as lead magnets. I've seen that happen. We'll be exploring that more for anyone that joins the masterclass, how you can use custom GPTs as lead magnet and how you can actually monetize those skills, because it's very scalable. Now let's look at prompt versus AI assistants. For anyone that is not familiar with prompting, I did a very detailed webinar sometime in June, and that recording is available on our YouTube page. So prompts are usually instructions you give to AI model to produce an output. AI models are not like Google, where you can just ask random straight questions and it can give you intelligent results. You need to understand how large language model works and how to communicate with them. So the way we communicate and collaborate with AI models is using prompts. So you need to know how to write very good prompts. Prompts are great by themselves, but they have some shortcomings. They have low memory. They are not very persistent if you want to use them repeatedly. Copying and pasting them can be manual and time consuming. They are great for one-off answers if you've taken time to build the prompt well, and for short tasks. However, on the other hand, for AI assistants like Custom GPTs or Google Gems, and if you work in an enterprise, this is similar to if you're using Salesforce as a CRM, you would have heard about Agent Force. So this, I would say, is a milder version, not as sophisticated as Agent Force, or if you work in a ServiceNow environment, you might have heard about Assist Now. So Agent Force and Assist Now are more advanced, sophisticated AI assistants that enterprises are deploying. And the beauty of knowing how to build AI assistants as a business analyst, as a project manager, is what I've seen most organizations do now. They are looking at their workflows and exploring use cases for AI optimization, AI automation. So knowing how to build one gives you knowledge, because if you have tried building an agent force, you realize it's the same principle. Or ServiceNow, Assist Now is the same principle, really. You need to write prompts, give it instructions, give it guardrails, and all of that. AI assistants are a step further. They leverage prompts for instruction, guidance, but they can do more repeatedly. They are reusable, they understand context, they follow instructions, and they can perform tasks automatically. You don't have to prompt it to do that because you programmed it to be able to do that. So you can get more consistent outcomes and very scalable. You can also integrate output of custom GPTs to other workflows if you have the right account. If you have the right tiered account, not the free version, the paid version, and there are also tiers in the paid version. And of course, it adapts and learns over time. Let's quickly do a quick comparison of AI prompts and assistants. Again, I'll repeat that I'm not saying prompts are totally useless. Prompts are still useful, but AI assistants can be better. So prompts are great for one-off tasks, and if you have quick answers that you want to get, prompts are awesome. However, if you have an ongoing workflow that seems complex, AI assistants can do better in those areas. Prompts are easy to use, right? And they're manual, but AI assistants, it might take you some time to build, but you can use this repeatedly. You can share with other people. Your prompts may give you varied results, right? Because you're always adjusting the variables, maybe changing the context and some of the variables in your prompt. But when you build the AI assistant, over time it learns and it gets better. Your prompts you can share prompts, but most times it's limited to your use. AI assistants are shareable across teams. And so for the learning curve it might be low and initial, very quick to use prompts. Building AI assistants might take you a couple of hours, and as you master the act, you might build it even quicker. But of course, it's minimal going forward. So a well-written prompt is great, but an AI assistant is way better. Custom AI assistants are transforming how professionals, solopreneurs think and deliver value. They are not just tools, they are your digital co-workers ready to handle tasks that you do every time that cost you time and effort, and then it gives you more precise and consistent results. So today I will teach you how you can move away from just prompting alone and step up to building AI assistants that you can work with, and these tools help you think and work and don't have to write any code at all. So relax if you were scared, oh, do I have to start writing code and all of that? None of that is happening today. And you're going to use the tools you already use today, ChatGPT. I'm not asking you to buy a new tool. So you can, if you're a ChatGPT user, especially if you have the paid version, the $20 a month version, that is all you need to get started. If you're also if you use Google Gems, you have a paid account. I don't know if the free version, I use the paid account. I'm not very sure if the free version allows you to create Google Gems. But you don't need to pay any extra subscription at all. What you're already paying is what you need to get moving. So let's look at what is the challenge with just prompting. Why am I saying prompting is old school and building an assistant is the next level and the way forward? So I don't know how many of you can relate with this. For every time I want to use a prompt, depending, I will have to go copy and paste it from wherever I've put it, right? So I need to copy and paste every time. How many of you can relate with this? right? And then when I paste that prompt, I need to change some variables. I need to write context, maybe give it tone and style, depending. But there's some tweaking I definitely need to do anytime I paste the prompt. Can anyone relate with this? If you can, please, can I have a yes or a thumbs up? And then I don't know about you. Sometimes my prompts are scattered everywhere. I'm scrolling on Facebook or LinkedIn and I see a great prompt. I'm reading a Substack email. I just screenshot it and put it sometimes. Maybe I'm on the go. I put it on WhatsApp. If I'm more organized, put it on Google Keep or Google Doc. It depends, right? And I realize prompts can be everywhere. I might be in a training and they're sharing a great prompt and I know it's useful for me. I want to grab it. So sometimes it's everywhere. Especially if I don't have time to come back and put it all together. And then sometimes I also get inconsistent output. I need to refine it, tell it what to do. So it's, yeah. And one thing I've realized for the task that I have built AI assistants for, I realize I'm saving more time and it's more precise, giving better results than having to go and copy and paste all the time and maybe looking for a prompt I pasted somewhere that I can't really remember where. So I want to ask you today, how are you currently saving your prompts? I know a lot of us, some of us are great prompt experts, and when we see good prompts, we go and we copy them. So how are you currently saving your prompts? Please share in the chat. I want to know, how are you saving your prompts? Are you saving them on WhatsApp like me sometimes? Or you are using Google Docs or Notion or Google Keep? Where are you saving? Or do you just remember them? Let me know. Please, can I have some engagement in the chat? Okay, Deepa says, if using Copilot, are the agents building any different? Deepa, in my experience, I would say it depends on your organization, the model you are using, and if you're even licensed to use it. So it depends. But you need to know that Microsoft Copilot is just OpenAI or ChatGPT wearing another color of clothes. Okay, Deepa says OneNote. Lena is saving hers on OneNote. Yvonne is asking, what is a prompt? Yvonne, I would have to refer you to a YouTube video we did sometime in June. If you can please help her grab a link to that YouTube video, that would be great. I think Pedro says safely. I use once and I forget. Oh my goodness. Okay. He saves on notes. Adobe saves notes and she has a prompt folder. Yes, I actually have a prompt folder. I have my own prompt but it can be everywhere for me. Tolulope saves his on ChatGPT, Mercy on Google Doc. Thanks guys for sharing. I do appreciate that. Okay, but there's a better way I want to show you today. It's worked for me and I hope it can work for you. The solution I'm recommending is using AI assistants rather than having prompts that are scattered everywhere. So why am I recommending AI assistants? They are reusable and they are reliable and they become your digital co-workers. And I've actually seen this. I started working with a VA recently and it has made delegation of tasks very easy. Before now, sometimes it's in my head that only me can do something very well. Nobody can do it as good as I am. So building ChatGPT to automate those tasks and handing that custom GPT over to him to use has reduced stress for me or even review time, because the custom GPT, I've used it over time. It understands the workflow and the expected output, and then he uses it following how I've taught him to use it, and we get almost consistent results. And the good thing about AI assistants is that you can define the role and purpose once, right? Establish your assistant, what it is, the problem they solve. And it's best to define a specific task and build an AI assistant for it. So you might hear me say custom GPTs, AI assistants. Please, I use them interchangeably because AI assistants might be the broad name, but for different products, because I'll be demonstrating OpenAI product today. They call it custom GPTs on OpenAI. Google calls it Google Gems. So if you hear me use custom GPTs or AI assistants, just know I'm saying the same thing. You can define the role and purpose. You can embed instructions. So you can tell it the tone it should respond in, how it should respond. You can give it a format for your output, and you can also upload knowledge document that trains it on about you, about your product, about your service, or about the work you are doing if you're a business analyst and a project manager. It gives you consistent outputs. You can reuse it over and over again. You don't have to be looking for it everywhere. And the same tool, ChatGPT, Gemini, Microsoft Copilot you use, you can build these tools on them. And they're accessible anywhere, right? Very accessible anywhere. With AI Assistant, you can actually stop copying and pasting prompts and start directing and refining your results even better. Instead of crafting the perfect prompt every time, you give high-level direction. So you give your perfect prompt can go into your instructions while you are building your custom GPTs. You give it high-level direction when you are using it, and it already knows your workflow. It understands your frameworks, methodologies, if you uploaded it in the knowledge base. And of course, in the custom instruction, if you define the tone you want it to respond, it already knows it. You don't have to repeat that every time. AI assistants, they're like having a trained team member who never forgets, really, and I've experienced this. So let me show you very quickly the changes I have seen, and I've also seen other business owners that I work with, the changes they've seen since they started adopting AI assistants. First, it eliminates repetitive tasks. They are able to focus on high strategic work. So if you think prompting time, you think again when you start using AI assistants. And then they've also reported to deliver consistent output. I've experienced this personally, and many other people that I've worked with are also experiencing this. In fact, I built one custom GPT for a training program. It saved me time because typically I'm helping them map out their customer journey. I would have to teach them, listen to everyone, define their business, help them identify their customer journey step by step, stage by stage. But using the AI assistant, they were able to work with it, interact with it, tell it, describe their business to it, and it was giving them an outcome, giving them consistent outcome, and it helped map their customer journey. And for me, what that has helped me do is to scale my capacity. I can actually take on more work because I have AI assistant doing many things for me on the side. And other business owners have also reported this as well. I've also seen, I personally using AI assistant as lead magnets. Before now, we know we can use PDFs, short courses, as lead magnets for those that are business owners and you understand how to get leads for your business. But using custom GPTs are the next new lead magnets right now. For example, I'll give you one of the lead magnets. Before now, I had a resume template, a business analysis resume template people could download. And lots of new aspiring BAs want to build a resume. They don't even know what it looks like. And some of them think they're not getting interviews because of their resumes. So my resume template was a good lead magnet, lots of downloads. However, I realized that when I started using the resume Copilot that I built, and first it was for my community members to help us save time in building, time we spend helping our new BAs to build their resumes, helping them translate their prior experiences to business analysis. And before now, I would spend hours. When we started training initially, we would do a group session where we are describing how you need to think about your prior experiences and begin to articulate it to the BA terms. And then I would personally have to work with each person one-on-one, review their resume, give them feedback. Oh my goodness, that was hours, especially if we had a large class for that cohort. But right now, most times I have little or no interactions. The only thing I give them after they use the Copilot is the template where to copy and paste the output of the custom GPTs. It talks to them, asks them questions about their past experiences, and it translates it into business analysis terms. And that's how we've programmed it to work, and it keeps getting better and better every day. So that's an idea for business owners that are on this call. I know I have a couple of solopreneurs here. You can also use it to multiply your team results. Yes, you can create one shared with your team members. And if you are a business analyst or professional, I know the work most organizations are doing now is identifying AI use cases in their work, so that because more and more organizations are seeing the benefits of using AI assistants and they are trying to implement it at scale. So this using AI assistant, I tell you, has opened my eye to more areas in my business and my work where I can deploy AI assistants. And if with this knowledge, you begin to see how you can add value to such initiatives within your organization. If you're a business owner, you also begin to think, what am I doing that's taking me more time? I'm doing repeatedly all the time. And it's really not that I can actually automate with AI or custom GPTs. So that is also what I've seen. And a whole lot of people are taking to the next level, monetizing these skills. I personally, I have built AI assistants for some businesses and charged good money around that. But that's not one big thing I do. But I have team members that still do help businesses to implement or build these AI assistants. And I believe if you're on this call today, and it's something you've been looking for, maybe how to monetize your skill set, this is one area I want you to pay attention and build skills and go have conversation with business owners around you and see how you can help them build AI assistants to save time, buy back their time, and really focus on the vision of their work. So let's share some real results from real people. And these are people that I've worked with directly. So this first one here is one of my, let me see. Okay, so yeah, after our training, after the first cohort, our training this year, we started experimenting this using the resume co-pilot. And this is one of the responses we got from one of our students. He was really, he was excited about it and he was sharing his experience. And the next one here on my screen is, we also have an interview assistant or interview co-pilot. Again, having to prepare a student for interviews takes a whole lot of time and effort, and some of them make requests at very odd hours, and maybe the mentors don't have capacity. We've also built an AI assistant that can help them upload their resume. It will ask them some questions around that resume and the organization and give them feedback. So this was one of my very zealous students giving me feedback on the testing she did with the interview co-pilot. And it was very good. I've also had other great feedback. This is another feedback we got. And you can see we'll be testing this as early as April, May of this year. Another one very recently. So she reached out and was asking for a GPT or a tool she can use to document processes. And I shared one of the resume assistants we are building for our BA community. This is not public yet. And this was a feedback. It has helped her enormously in her work, and she was very excited to share it. Another one here was sharing about how to use the resume co-pilot and the awesome results she's getting. So this third one here was, so there was a corporate training I did recently, and one of the feedback I also got, she couldn't join our last session, and she sent me this email, and I was really glad the custom GPT we built to help them define their customer journey was very helpful for her. And we've not only restricted this to our BA students, we've also designed it for our OCM students, and they are using it to build their resumes, and we are building more and more around it. And in fact, the most interesting thing was the first one you have here is one of our students. He's been applying for a job for a long time and never got a call. And then he used the resume co-pilot to do it. And he got an invite from one of the big 4 consulting firms, and he was very excited to share that within the community. So these are just few examples, and there are many more opportunities out there. So at this point, I want to quickly tell you about the upcoming masterclass I'm holding next Saturday. For if you're interested in building more competence around how to build this AI assistant, ask me questions on how to monetize it, how to use it as lead magnet, how to build it in your own workspace. For example, if you are using Microsoft Copilot at work, I wouldn't recommend you use ChatGPT to store organization information. I would also show you how you can use the same process and build it in your AI instance, as long as you have the approval from the organization to do that. There will be a live workshop where we are going to build it step by step. And part of what I'll be giving away is my GPT architect. So again, to build custom GPTs, I have created a GPT that helps me build custom GPTs, also reducing my time. Because what I do is anything that is taking me too many time, so much effort, I think, how can I use an AI assistant to reduce the time and effort I spend doing this? So I've designed a GPT architect that would help you write the custom instruction tell you the knowledge, suggest knowledge data, training data you can use to train your custom assistant. And I'll be sharing lots of checklists, documents, workflows you can follow to help you. I would also share monetization and lead magnet frameworks during that session. The recordings will be available if you're unable to join live. And then we'll have a close community where you can get ongoing support from peers. You can ask me questions, at least for the period we are on that. So we'll have the first session on the 1st of November. And then if there is a need, we can have an office hour a week after just to address any questions. So all of these valuable resources would have cost you over $4,000, but because you're showing up here, you can get it for $79 only until midnight today. Working with me next week to build your own custom GPT. And I have a bonus offer for the first 10 people that will sign up. You will get to vote on 2 GPTs, custom assistants you want built. 2 of them. So if the first 10 will get to vote on this, and my team will build it before the end of the training. We won't build it by Saturday because we'll have to vote by that Saturday, but before the end of the next week or before the office call, you get your tools handy. So again, early bird pricing ends midnight today. Date is next week, Saturday, 12 to 2 p.m. same time, and it's live. We are building live. Everybody opens, you identify your use case, come up with the custom instruction using the GPT architect, and you are building live. Okay, let's continue with our webinar. So I want to ask you a quick question. I'm sure you are not, for some of us here, this is not the first time you are hearing about AI assistants or custom GPTs. So what AI assistants are you seeing in your industry? What AI assistants are you seeing in your industry? Okay, I'm looking to see if there are other questions. Please, I would love you to drop in the chat. What AI assistants are you seeing in the industry? I'll take any questions around the masterclass at the end, just to make sure I get to do the demo before it's 1 o'clock. So please share in the chat. Have you used custom GPTs before? Have you seen people using it in your organization? Have they started building AI assistant? What are the use cases you are seeing? Okay, if I'm not getting any feedback, I would share some of the use cases. I believe I've already shared some use cases earlier, but I will share more. So part of what we are building in our community, okay, Ehi says, okay, Lina says, summarizing meeting transcripts. Awesome. Ehi says, I've not seen anyone in the finance industry. Maybe it's highly regulated. Okay, maybe. They says, all questions. Okay, yeah. Don't see, but would love to know how to find them. Okay, Deepa, that's not the scope of the masterclass because I'm learning how to identify AI use cases. We're not going to cover it here, but that's a good question you're asking. But some professional use cases, and this is what we are building in our business analysis and change management communities, SOP and document generator GPTs. We're also building impact assessment GPTs, be it change impact assessment or business change impact assessment. We're building GPTs that will help write test cases, user stories, PM assistants, depending on what work you are doing. We have requirement discovery GPTs, change readiness assessment, WBS GPTs, stakeholder analysis GPTs, and many more. Depending on the need of our community, we'll continue to build and update this library. We do have a prompt library that is available to some of our people that have attended our masterclass in the past, but we want to take it up to making available more AI assistants. For solopreneurs, some of the use cases I have seen that I also use in my business, custom support or FAQ GPTs. So if you don't have the time to always answer all the questions from the community or your customers, you can actually build an AI assistant, program it with all your frequently asked questions, and it will do great helping you save time, hours in that area. Also, I've seen trainers use it to create lesson plans, create quizzes, manage training session logistics. And of course, social media and content GPT is very popular, but a lot of people just randomly have great prompts and they tell ChatGPT to help them create content for 90 days. But a better way some entrepreneurs that are more experienced are using it is to create their brand voice and program an AI assistant that knows how they sound, how they talk, that understands their business, and use that voice to create their social media content. So now it won't sound regular and plain like every ChatGPT content out there. It's programmed to speak and talk like them because it's been trained that way. Another way I've seen people use it is YouTube metadata. I personally use this because every time we want to upload YouTube videos, we need to come up with the right title, the description, the keywords, and all of that. And that can be a whole lot of work. So what we've been doing with my team is they just go get the transcript of the webinar, put it into this GPT we've built, and then it will generate all the metadata, just reviews, refines, copy and paste into YouTube. And that is saving us time, a lot of time. Other options I've also seen offer creator GPTs. Not every solopreneur knows how to create and start offers. So I've seen GPTs that help understand your business and helps you create the right offers. Also landing page copies. Oh, if you're an entrepreneur and you have to always outsource building landing pages, you know how much that will cost you. And maybe you've taken on that task to build landing. Okay, I think we need to mute somebody. Maybe you've taken on that task to build your landing pages, also writing the right copy, using the right copy principle, be it pastor, AIDA, all of that. I've seen people, I actually do have one landing page copy GPT because I have lots of landing page templates. My VA uses it to create the landing page, and that's saving us money. We rather outsource to a landing page builder and all of that. Then customer journey GPTs, which we do have within I'm using it currently for one of my trainings. So again, for consultants, coaches, what you can actually do, building GPTs for specific areas, or even it enhances the value you are providing to your community, which is where we are also moving towards as a training organization. When we design curriculum, we think of what AI assistants can we also build that will help them do this work, that can help them be more efficient in doing what they do. That said, it's time for some demo. I would share so you can pay attention, take screenshots if you want. And yeah. Okay, I would open mine. How do you build custom assistant? First, okay, maybe let me go back to my slide just one moment here. There are some information, there are some prerequisites. There are some things you need to have before you jump into the OpenAI interface. Let me just run quickly through it here, and then we'll go into OpenAI. So you need to have the name and title of your GPT. You need to have custom instructions. You need to define the purpose and the name. You might need some knowledge-based documents to upload to it to make it more specific, more refined. If you have frameworks, methodology that you use, it's good to have them handy. And those are the things you actually really need. If you have a logo you want to use OpenAI can actually help you create a logo. You don't necessarily, but if you have one, that would be great. So let us look at it in action here. So if you have the paid version, I'm not sure you can do this on your free version. So you go up here to GPTs. You click GPTs here. Sorry, you click on the Explore tab here. Over here are some of all the GPTs. Some were built, some I've gotten from other trainings I've been part of. And then here is the library of GPTs you might want to explore. But we want to build out. So if you already have GPTs, you can click here and it shows you the GPTs you've created. So these are some of the ones we've created, but I want to create a new one. So I just click on, let me go back here. Maybe you've never built one before. You click here, create GPTs. So it opens up to this interface for you. Here is, you can either configure it if you know how to build custom GPTs, which is, I usually configure mine. I don't use the create. However, if you are new to it, you can actually use this tab and interact with ChatGPT to give you, it will tell you, it would ask you questions. And if you are good with the dictate feature of ChatGPT, you just have to click here and talk to it, tell it what you want to do. Hi, I want to build a custom GPT that helps my student build resumes. I'm a business analysis trainer. I help my students translate their past experiences and work history to usable business analysis resume that gets them invited for job interviews. Can you help me? So you can interact with it this way. It would ask you all the questions, and note that this is an AI assistant in action here. it would help you create your custom instruction. So it's already updating your GPT. But sometimes I tell it not to do that. Great. We're off to a strong start. I've set up the GPT to help. I'll suggest the name. Okay, even suggest a name for me so I don't have to worry. Does this name fit what you have in mind? Yes. So again, you can interact with it. You can refine it. You can even ask it to show you the instructions, and I will show you all of that very quickly. So would you like me to regenerate? It looks like there was an issue generating a profile picture. Can we try that again? Yes. So again, it can help you generate your profile picture will show up here. Here, it would create a profile picture that shows up here. Okay, yes, this is where it can ask you a lot of questions, but I'm going to stop this very quickly and show you how I do configure. And that's what I recommend. I think I get better results that way because I know exactly what I want. I recommend this if you don't know what you want and how to do it. Now it's asking me lots of questions. Okay, it's so professional one. Please do ask your questions. Also, Ola says new summary for the pharmaceutical industry. That's her use case. Thanks, Ola, for sharing. And if you have questions, okay, I'm just going to ask it for the custom instructions. Can you show me the custom instructions you built for this GPT? I want to review it. And do you recommend me adding any knowledge resources? What training would you recommend I add here? So this is the custom instruction it has given to the core behavior. This GPT is designed to build professional assistant, prompt starter. I'll show you how to configure this all manually. Welcome message, recommended additions. So it's recommending knowledge resources. Adding specialized knowledge will make the GPT more accurate, personalized to your teaching styles. So it's recommending I should upload sample resume templates and also upload business analysis competency framework, common roles and translation, job description samples. So these are the training data is recommending that I can upload to even improve the efficiency of this custom GPT. Okay, I can decide to create it here, or okay, it's configured here. So if I'm satisfied with what it has done so far, I can click create and save it, and I can share it with anyone if I want to. I can share with only myself. I don't want to share with anybody. I want to use it alone. I can also make it available on the GPT store and anybody can find and use it there, right? I'm not going to save this because I don't want to save it. But if you are comfortable with all the information, and what you can also do, you can then start testing it, right? So you can test it on this preview page here. I won't go into testing today because of time. So let's go back and create, and I'll show you how to create if you want to configure. And this is the method I will teach if you join the masterclass. So you click, I go with this configure option. If I have a logo, I use my brand logo for it. You can just upload that logo if you have it. You can put in the logo if you have it. Okay, it's not accepting that. Maybe the image size is too big or something. But you can use your own logo for your business, which is what I recommend. If you define the name for your GPT, you can put it in here. Describe what it does, very briefly, short description, and then put in your custom instructions. So what I've done is to create a GPT that helps me create all of this. It suggests the name for me, description and instruction, and I can modify it. And then I can also define conversation starters. I can just click on, because some people, when they get on the GPT page, they don't know what to do. So if you see all those starters or some things, you can click on and it would start interacting with you. This is where you define it. Then you can upload knowledge, upload files. Remember when I asked it for some training data? So this is very good if you are a coach or consultant and you have frameworks and methodology that you use. You can upload them here. If you are a business analyst, project manager, professional, you're trying to build an AI assistant for a specific task, obviously you have samples of work you have done before. You can take out confidential information, upload your template here. Maybe you want it to give you the result in a format. You can upload the template. It helps guide and direct it to give you your results in that format. If there is a way you want it to think, a framework, for example, when we write user stories, we do have a formula for writing user stories. You can come up with a document that talks about user stories, what great user stories look like, what are the characteristics of great user stories, what's the formula for user stories, and you upload it here under the training files, this knowledge base. It helps guide and instruct. This is where you are now getting the AI assistant to think and work like you. So that the way you work, your thought process, and all that is in your head, you are documenting it and then uploading it for the AI to use it to work. If you join our masterclass next week, I would give you Gizmo. Gizmo would help you, interact with you, ask you questions. I prefer the output to using the Create tab, which is similar to what the Create tab does for you, but this is more specialized. It will suggest to you training data that you can create. Now, people would ask, some common questions I've seen people ask is, how do I get training data if it's something I've not done before? Maybe I'm not an expert. You can actually use Google research, deep research, to create training data. For example, when I was building our BA resume copilot, we had standard resume building principles and business analysis terminology, but I actually got some other supplementary knowledge data using Google deep research, which I would also show how to do in our masterclass. Now, because of time, I will just open an existing tool that we use. So let me use the customer journey one and just show you what it looks like. I can come in here, edit my GPTs, and yeah, you can always come in and you can always improve the performance of your GPT. You don't build it once and for all. So look at what we've done here. I named the Custom GPT. I described it here. Please feel free to drop your questions as we go along, okay? I named it, I described it here, and then there's a format I use. It's called Markdown. I'm not going to go into that. It took me a while to understand, but it's very easy. So there's a language. It's not a coding language, but it's the way you write and format document for AI to best understand. So this is the custom instruction I use to build the customer journey map. So when you see all these asterisk and this hashtag and this dash, those are Markdown languages, okay? I won't explain that. And that's the way GPT architect would give you your output in Markdown language. So yeah, we define the role and objective of the AI assistant, the tone and style we want it to respond, and then how we want it to interact and elicit information, because you would interact step by step with the users to elicit other information to be able to build out their entire customer journey. So you would ask them questions, help them, guide them to articulate what they do. And then based on that, because we've uploaded some training document that would help it identify and map out the customer journey. And then we also define the output format, how we want it to present the output. We don't want it to be random. We're very intentional. We define how we want the output to look like. And then some other things, if they ask about AI opportunity, it should suggest some of them. And if they are stuck, you should offer them concrete example, because not everybody understands customer journey principle and how to create it. And maybe for your use case, not everybody will understand your area of expertise. So you need to train the AI to help them elicit that information and make the AI assistant usable for them. And then we also define boundaries or guardrails, which is what you also need to do. You don't want it to go all over the place. You want it to stick to the task. And what I'm sharing for you for business analysts on project, building AI assistants, be it Agent Force and all of that, this is how you build the engine that drives those tools. There is no rocket science about it. So every tool would look different and their interface will look different, but prompt engineering principle is what you use, giving it the right information to give you the right outcome. We also provided some security and privacy guardrails and all of that. We don't want it to collect or store any sensitive data. We put in some disclaimer, and then there's something I love about this for my business, especially as a lead magnet or as promoting my business when I'm not there. People can share this, but at the end of the day, it tells them about our training. And then it says, if you need more help building solutions like this, reach out to. So you can actually build this attribution into your own custom GPT, right? So that even if it's a lead magnet, someone uses it and gives it to other people out there, they can always see the source, it's coming from you. And if they love it, they will reach out to you to help them do something similar or help them achieve the same results you do. Okay. And then some of the conversation starters I use is start or They can ask what is the customer journey map, just help them begin to interact with your AI assistant. And of course, I created some knowledge document to train it, to help ground it in the result I actually wanted it to do. And again, I say you don't have to be a master at this. The custom GPT architect I'll be sharing during my masterclass will help you identify the right training data you can use. Okay, I will stop now and take any questions you may have. So I can always come here, make changes, which I've done in the past, and then update my custom GPT. And if you want to monetize selling GPTs without putting it in a system that has a paywall behind, I can also share tips on how you can use your regular account to do that. Okay, so I will stop now and take any questions you may have. Lamdi, if you can help.
Okay. I'm actually driving, but I have a question. How do I join the masterclass for next week? Do I just mention it in the WhatsApp group, or is that how do I really connect with you guys?
A link was shared in the chat.
Oh, okay. Okay, because I was driving, I missed it. Can that same link still be shared in the WhatsApp group, because I am still on the road?
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, and for those that, so if this offer is just until midnight today, we're going to be sending an email to our mailing list, and I'm sure I have people that have trusted my work over time that will jump on this. So you don't want to waste time. It would be shared in our WhatsApp community, which is not for entrepreneurs, just for business analysts and working professionals. We will share it in there. But let me take any questions you would have now. Frankie says, if you do not know anything about AI assistants, how would the masterclass help you? So I've provided an introduction, and definitely in class we will do a bit of an introduction, but more of hands-on working. So you don't have to be an expert. No, just come willing to learn. That's all I need you to do. Come, have a paid ChatGPT account at the minimum. If you have a Google paid account, you should also, that would also work. Unfortunately, we don't have time. I would have showed you the Google interface and how it was, but it's just the same principle. And then if you use Microsoft Copilot at work and you want to build this for maybe writing requirements or maybe creating documents as a PM or a change manager, I would also show you how you can use my GPT architect to create custom instruction, training data, and then as long as you have the approval to build those things at work without exposing private information, it works very well, which is what I do in my work account. I use my GPT architect to define the instructions, the knowledge, training materials I need, and I build it on my Microsoft Copilot account at work. Lamdi, if you can help me with the question, I would really appreciate. Don't see, but would love to know how to find them. Okay, Deepa, that is out of scope for this. Maybe we'll have another webinar on. We're actually building AI curriculum for our BAs, and that is one key area because that is part of where BAs add value to organization, helping them identify great AI use cases that give the business return on investment. Lina says, assume GPTs for summarizing document. I upload document as a knowledge. Tomorrow I upload new knowledge, thus 2 times. How do I remove the previous knowledge automatically? Lina, I'm not sure. So if you put it in the LLM interface to summarize your data, I'm not sure you can take it out again. It's posting something on the internet. Yes, you can. You might be able to go and delete it, but for the LLMs, especially if your privacy settings is not set to not save or use your data for training, I'm not sure you can go retrieve it. So before you put anything in an LLM, you need to be sure it's a document you really want to be out there that does not contain confidential or private or top secret information.
Okay, I'll take the questions for you and then you can answer. Yeah, so the first question I have here from the beginning of the recording was, if using Copilot, are the agents building any difference?
No, it's not. So like I think Microsoft Copilot is OpenAI wearing another code of dress. So yeah, the interfaces is the same.
Okay.
But your organization can control what you have access to. For example, on my own personal Microsoft account, I cannot upload knowledge documents, but on my work account, I have that access to do that. So it depends on the access and privileges the organization grants you.
All right, thank you very much. And then someone is asking, what is a prompt, please?
Please, I would share a video on the first training we did. But a prompt is just instructions you give to the LLM to give you an output. But there's a format and structure I recommend you use in writing prompts.
Okay, thank you. So someone asked, okay, two attendees asked if the recording will be shared. I just wanted to also tell them that yes, it will.
Next week it will be available on our YouTube page. Please look for Pollard Learning on YouTube and find the recording there.
Okay, and then someone is asking that is the $79 in USD or Canadian dollars?
It's in USD, please.
Okay. If you don't know anything about AI assistants, how will the masterclass help the individual?
I think I answered that. Can we skip the next question?
I already answered those ones. Don't see. I've seen anyone. Okay. I think, okay, you stopped at, can I previously removed automatically saved knowledge? Okay, so another question says, so to recap for creating agents, you need a paid version, whether it is chat, Google, that would also be useful for the class too, right? To get the best results. Okay. Will markdowns be covered in the masterclass, or will this be a different webinar?
No, because again, I'm not an expert in writing markdowns, but we'll talk about it. And you don't need to learn it because the output from the GPT architect will come in markdown format. All you need to do is copy and paste. Sorry, don't try to become an expert in markdown language. I've not mastered it. Even I remember when I started using it first, I was like, what is all of this? But you don't have to be an expert for now. Just copy and paste from the custom GPT architect will be sharing with you. That's all you need to know for now, but we'll talk about it briefly.
Okay, and then the question still has some other question. Can we get links to get more information on the Markdown language for custom GPTs?
Sure. And Markdown language is not only for custom GPTs. You use them if you're building Claude, Anthropic, or Google Gems, or Perplexity. So it's general for communicating with AI systems. Yeah, I can share some links and quick trainings you can do to learn about Markdown language, yes.
Okay, another question from Leanne says, are you using Markdown approach for output formats?
No, because so you need to understand Markdown is great for interacting with the LLM. But when I want to give it to a human to read and understand, I will use plain text, normal way we write. But when communicating with the LLM or programming an LLM system, Markdown language is usually recommended.
All right, thank you. I don't know if this is a question from Tolulok, but it says Markdown is a way to write text that looks plain, like normal writing. But when you show it on a website, it automatically looks neat and styled, like bold, italicized, heading time. I think it's a comment. Can I be?
I think Tolu is an expert there. You can reach out to him to help.
Oh, thank you so much for that. Emanuela is saying, can I be added to the WhatsApp group, please? Can you share the WhatsApp link? I would share that shortly. Hours is the masterclass in total, and what time of the day?
Oladapo, the masterclass will start at 2. So the plan time is 2 hours. But if we need more time, what I'm planning to do is have an office hour on Friday after the 1st of November. On Friday, 7th of November, but I believe in 2 hours because everybody's building actively and asking questions. I will just provide a brief overview and we just get straight into building the GPTs. People can ask questions and we continue to build along. There's a WhatsApp group after that call where we can continue. I don't expect you to be an expert and I expect you to want to build multiple use cases. So you can build during the week from Sunday to Thursday, then we meet on Friday to ask questions. Friday evening to accommodate those that are working, and you can ask more questions. Maybe you got stuck along the way. And of course, throughout the week in the WhatsApp group, you can ask questions.
Okay. Thank you for the answer. Frankie is asking to confirm, is ChatGPT Plus a paid ChatGPT? Is ChatGPT
yes,
Plus
I think.
ChatGPT? Yeah.
Okay, let me confirm that very quickly, but I don't know. I know I use a paid account, but I don't know what that tier is called. I know there are different tiers. Yeah, but I don't know the tier. Okay, yeah, Plus. Yes, Plus is a paid account. Yes. I see it here. It's a paid account. Someone is saying how much is it in Naira? I don't know. Yeah, we prefer our payments in dollars, please. Yes. Feel free to unmute and ask any questions. And if you have any other question, you can send us an email at info. I really want to respect people's time. I hope you found this valuable, and you can go back to this webinar when we upload it on YouTube, and you are able to follow step by step and build your own AI assistant. And if you don't know where to start from, please use the create. If you're using ChatGPT, use the create button, interact with it, tell it what you want to build, and it will give you direction. Okay. If you have more questions around the masterclass you want to join, please do send us an email. And if you're in our WhatsApp community, you can ask questions right there. And I assure you, and for those that already know me, I give you much, much more value than, no, Olamide did not share the WhatsApp. Anyways, there needs to be a registration. We don't share direct links to the group. Just we need to know people that are joining. And unfortunately, Google will not allow you to delete. But what we'll do, people have to go register to join the group, okay? Ademola, you please go to our YouTube video. It's called Pollard Learning. By Tuesday, we should have it. If you go there, you can also see the webinar we did a couple of months ago around writing prompts and even understanding how LLM behaves, so you know how well to interact with it. Madepeju says, yeah. So please, you can visit our YouTube page on next week to rewatch and follow it and build your own, interact with AI. But if you need to use our custom GPT architect, you have to join the masterclass to get all of that. And I assure you, it's just a token. You're making if you're able to be part of the people that pay before midnight, just $79, and you can build as many GPTs. And let me tell you how it works. So I started first with one use case, and when I saw how well it works, my mind exploded. I started seeing other opportunities, right? So for a professional, you are the go-to person. You go to business department, you are helping them identify AI use cases, as the IT department is helping to build AI assistants to make people more productive. As a business owner, you are becoming more productive. And if you're a solopreneur, that VA, maybe you want to hire another VA, you might have to rethink that. And you're looking to start a business. This is just a $79 investment. And in the webinar, I will tell you how to reach out, how to identify business problems that custom GPTs can solve, how to approach business owners and begin to have conversation for them to test your custom GPT, not even pay for it. And I'm sure when they see the value and the results, they will come asking you for more. So all of that I will share during the masterclass. So I would really look forward to seeing as many of you on the masterclass as possible. And with that said, if there's any question, please feel free. I will just hang on here till 1:15. If you have any questions, feel free to unmute and ask or put it in the chat. Kemi, you're welcome. And thanks for the kind words. Yeah, Adepeju, thank you also. Yeah, and please stay tuned. We would have more webinars as we go along. Towards the year, we're already wrapping up for the year, but we still do have a couple of webinars lined up, and in the new year, we would have more. Please, can we get the recorded? Yeah, you get the replay on. I'm promising by Tuesday, because I need my VA to work on it and get it ready, played on YouTube and all of that. Okay, let me quickly grab that for you, Frank. Let me grab the initial training. So please, you can drop your questions. I'll try to answer until 1:15. If you are in fact, the training we have, if you are a BA or a PM, and a BA, actually, we didn't build one for the PM yet, but we have for our OCM group. So this is the link. Is it Frankie? Frankie, this is the link. Yeah, thanks everyone for joining and for spending an hour of your Saturday with me. I appreciate it. So Frankie, I believe that's the YouTube link. You can check it out. Yeah, thanks for joining. I appreciate your time. Let me see this one. Okay. And if you are a business, hi Bola, thanks. If you are a BA and looking for how to build your resume, So that's, again, you can find all of this on our YouTube page. Frankie says, my only request would be to consider beginners during the masterclass. Definitely beginner for, as people join between now and Saturday, the class hold. If you have never written prompt, I'll recommend you take you. I'll share videos on how to build prompts because you need that basic understanding, but you don't need it to build your AI assistant. Like I said, we have a custom GPT that would give you the AI instruction. All you just need to do is to go to that OpenAI interface I showed you and put in the custom instruction, add your knowledge base document. That is all you need. See, Frankie, you join that class, you have an AI use case you want to build a GPT for. I assure you by the end of that class, you would have something that is, say, 70% done. That I'm guaranteeing you. You don't have to be an expert to build this. I'm not an AI expert. I'm learning, I'm building capacity in AI, but I'm still not an expert. But I build this every other day, and I find ways to make my work easier, to even bring more, improve the experience of my learners in my training. So my corporate trainings for standard, I think, and I look for custom GPTs that I have to, that accompanies that training to improve the learning experience for them. And that has been awesome. Even for our BAs that we've been our BA community, that's also what we are doing right now, improving experience overall using custom GPT. So I assure you, come to that session, you should be able to live with it working, at least one, and then more ideas to continue to build as you go along.